Holy moly. Labour is about to scrap the two-child benefit cap, the only good policies the Tories ever did in 14 years. Let me explain to you why she's doing it and the impact it's going to have. So why is she doing it? The UK currently has, on record, the lowest birth rate per female at 1.4. The replacement rate is 2.1. That means the UK is decreasing in population, which means GDP goes down, which means the GDP, debt to GDP percentage goes up, which basically will cause a bond crisis, which will make her go through a Liz Truss issue. Hopefully that's quick enough. But basically she needs people to go up. She needs people to go up. So the bigger problem is that in benefit cities like Luton, 30% white, 70% Muslim, and all on benefits. Even in places like that, it's below 2.1. Now, if where you're giving out free money, they're still not having enough kids, you've got a serious problem. So the reason is because above 2 kids, they don't get any more benefits. So there's no point for them to do it. So that's why she wants to scrap it, so that they all have 6, 7 kids to go straight on benefits, to become Labour voters, and to make sure the working man pays for it. That is the reason. Now, if people don't get why we have to stop voting, people who do not fund the system should not have a vote, right? This is how it used to be back in the day. You used to own a property in order to vote. Nowadays, we're just letting people who basically want free money to vote have the same say as somebody who works and pays taxes and earns money. Same say as no, you shouldn't have the same say. You have no right to vote. You have no right to say anything. If you work, you can then fight for social justice and fight for more benefits, and I have no problem. You're working, you can fight for that. But to do this, what's currently happening is she's pandering. Labour is essentially a benefits party. That's all it panders to. Reform are also a benefits party, as I've told you before. Their main constituencies, including Clacton, the number one where Nigel Farage is an MP, is a benefit city. And so they're also pandering to the same amount of people. So imagine Reform and Labour are pandering to the same amount of people. So neither are planning to cut benefits. And that's why the initial proposal to scrap the two-child benefit cap was from Nigel Farage. It was not from Labour, it was from Nigel Farage. And the only people that did cut it were the Tories. Now, again, I don't think you should vote Tory at all. They're a complete scam. But they were the ones who did it, because they are at least a working party, rather than Reform and Labour not being for working people, being clearly just for people on benefits. And so now we're going to have all the Muslims have 6, 7 kids. The one guy in Sharia law having 3 or 4 women, 18 kids to his name, collecting all the cash, each woman in a different council house. It's a dream come true. This is where we are going, and you're going to give them the right to vote in the next election, where they clearly will vote for this. And we're going to have a bigger problem because, from what I'm hearing, Shabina Mahmood, the Home Secretary, is basically going to be put in place as the Labour candidate for the next election. She will attract all the Muslim votes. That means Green and the Corbyn party are dead. That means Labour have a very, very good chance at the next election. Contrary to what you're hearing, they have a very good chance if she leads it. And I actually think they would win it again. And that's what happens when you give the vote to people that don't work. You don't pay and display, right? You don't pay, you don't display. You don't pay into the system, you shouldn't have a vote. But that is not what's going to happen. It'll never happen. And that's it. So good luck to paying even more taxes. And the UK becoming even more bankrupt, and inflation going even higher, and standard of living going even lower.